Bruce Springsteen, I had my little workshop studio in Nyack, New York, Blauvelt, New York, to be more official, about 45 minutes out of Manhattan. And it was fashioned after Albert Grossman's Woodstock Studios, you know, and somewhere between the studios that I had helped to build, like A&R Studios and Century Sound, and so it was sort of like a workshop studio with the philosophy was at this time, instead of worrying about a 3-hour block of time, you'd book by the day or book by the week or book by the project. And we helped to arrange for sleeping quarters for people in hotels and motels, and it was done nice.
Right.
And it was strategically built next door to a 24-hour diner. You know, the second most important thing to the song is the food.
Right.
Yeah. And how close
and
are
sometimes arguably.
So Mike Appel and another guy named Jimmy Kretikos came into my studio and asked me to consider working with Bruce Springsteen, and if I would drive down to Asbury Park and check him out. The bad news is they only had X amount of dollars to make an album that would have cost in anybody's world a couple $100,000, but they only had X amount of dollars.
Right.
And I heard his music. I knew instantly this was the guy. And I brought it up to my partner in New York, and he didn't want to go along with the deal, but I somehow convinced him to go along with the deal. And they were, Bruce and Mike Appel, Springsteen and Appel, offered to give us a small royalty override on the albums if we would give them the rate that we need for this debut album. That's going to take a lot of time. And my partner in New York disagreed with that philosophy. He said he'd rather have the cash, whatever the cash is.
Right.
So we lost that on a royalty position, but we made a great friend and a great couple of great albums.
Welcome to the world of Cabarabia, the world where Broadway, jazz, comedy, and pop share the spotlight, and a 2-drink minimum. With your host, producer, director Clifford Bell, keeping the world safe for live performances in intimate settings on Global Voice Broadcasting.